Marcus Aurelius, the former emperor of Rome and Stoic philosopher, said what stands in the way becomes the way. This is the mantra for the current matters concerning UFO disclosure. When the Schumer-Rounds Amendment wording with the eminent domain and Presidential Oversight Board was first revealed, a lot of us thought how incredible it would be for that to pass. Well, that has been shot right down. But if what stands in the way becomes the way, what is now available? Firstly, the perpetrators, the shooters, and those companies who actioned the silence are now open, in plain sight to the world, news and public to see. They have been smoked out and everyone can now see who the enemies are. Eminent domain would have forced those private contractors and air defense companies like Lockheed and Raytheon to give up their exotic materials to the government. This pushback and the nature of how this developed has exposed how deep this secrecy runs, while also conferring with various whistleblowers and their testimonies that have popped up over the years. The adversaries have now reared their heads into existence. Now, there have always been strong suspicions, but that's all they were. It was put into the pot of leaks and radical conspiracies and century-led reverse engineering programs that never happened. Questions were asked: how could this be hidden for so long? No way UFOs would come to Earth. We would have known by now. So when David Grusch has come forward whistleblowing on this information about secret reverse engineering programs, and these have been denied, and the very pushback came from these departments who supposedly do not have anything to hide, this only adds fuel to the fire, and those involved are now feeling the pressure. It was reported by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp that Lockheed were trying to scramble their exotic materials out of the back door to bring it back in through the front door, and that is just one of these companies. This has now bled into the media, with main channels such as News Nation and Chris Sharp reporting via the Daily Mail, and recently the UAP saga has moved into more mainstream avenues such as CNN and Fox. So let's pause there for a moment and just understand that the UFO subject and the pushback on the amendment is now being discussed on mainstream channels. This is a huge win. 20 to 30 years ago, you would have been deemed crazy to speak of this. 10 years ago, you would have still been branded with a conspiracy theory slap. Then 6 years ago, this conversation has evolved so fast and so rapidly, beginning with the admission by the Pentagon of its study on the UFO UAP phenomena and a disclosure of the infamous Tic Tac video, to the first official hearing in Congress. There is a convincing movement in the US constituency. You now have Majority Leader Mike Schumer publicly calling out those who have pushed back on the UAP amendments, so Mike Turner and Mike Rogers, and issuing a rallying talk that there is something going on behind the scenes within these intelligence communities around the UFO domain. An area that we are not being told the full information on, and one that has suspiciously been blocked continually whenever the strings are being pulled for info. And this is not coming from an up-and-coming politician. Schumer, in which the amendment along with Mike Rounds is named on, has close ties to the White House, speaking to the president 3 times a week. This is a serious person with serious claims, and this is transgressing into the public eye, energizing those seeking the truth. And if Schumer is speaking with the White House and the president, we can presume that this is on the White House's radar, and the more this opens up to the wider world and the rest of the US government, the more pressure these gatekeepers are under. Once again, what stands in the way becomes a way, and this mantra opens up another opportunity which we have already started to see movement within. Eric Tabor, a defense aerospace contractor for 13 years, told the Daily Mail of an egg-shaped metallic UFO kept at Area 51 in the 1980s. He said, "These are the best and brightest engineers you could think of. They tried to no avail to figure out what the power source was, how to activate it, and how it works. They tried to induce electricity to it. X-rays couldn't penetrate it. They tried to open it and penetrate its hull. They couldn't." This, combined with the previous leak from Chris Sharp at the Daily Mail that the CIA has up to 9 craft or maybe more, means 2 bombshells in 2 weeks. These gatekeepers towards UAP transparency have 2 options, as now the box is opening and it is not closing. They either work towards getting the truth out there, which has been within a deep state for decades, in a controlled manner, or more information like this will come out in an uncontrolled manner through whistleblowers and leaks. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, who have worked very closely with David Grusch and have been at the forefront of the UFO movement, have also confirmed all of this in a recent Weaponized episode. There will be more leaks, more whistleblowers, more hearings and direct witnesses, and more people going to the ICIG. And then we have David Grusch coming out and now admitting, as before he couldn't due to his clearances, that he has worked on these programs, so he does have first-hand knowledge. We just happen to be at the point of our minute timeline where we can be part of the greatest scientific discovery since the dawn of civilization. A topic which, and this is my opinion, that has shaped our very beliefs and has been at the center of our divine and religious experiences, one that has supported our evolution into modern civilization. We are at the eye of the storm that is finally clearing towards a future lit up with advanced technology and a route to become a galactic civilization. This is not a sprint, it is a marathon. This is a pilgrimage, and this pushback is the best evidence we have that there is something. Some of us knew this intel already, but now those within the government houses are becoming more aware of this decade-old secrecy. And even though I'm from the UK, getting UFO disclosure from the US, which has been at the heart of the UFO and UAP arena for decades, will have implications globally. And although we still need to get the confirmed legislative language, and yes, they did kill and water down the amendment, we should still acknowledge the people before us who have pushed so heavily to get to a step and space where we are now. And it is a step forward, there's no denying that. And what other options are there? It's not like we're going to just give up. Anyone with a genuine interest in this knows that however much you try to push it away, it comes back with vengeance. So it's time to accept the lows and the highs, and irrespective, continue the fight for UAP transparency. Thank you all for watching today's video. If you're new here, my name is Laszlo. This is my channel, UFO World. The objective is to drive UFO disclosure and transparency. If you want to be a part of that movement, your support be much appreciated. Do hit the like button, subscribe, feel free to share this with any friends. Take care, and I'll see everyone next week.